Good evening. Here are our news headlines for tonight's bulletin. The Fijian community ramp up fundraising efforts to send support to Fiji by the end of this month. A workshop held this week was to work on a process to design the new waste recycling centre in Niue. A 2-year agriculture project for fruit and nut trees was launched to diversify availability of fruits and nuts in Niue. Niufa holds a selfie competition as a part of their membership drive targeting young children and youth. Women in Niue join in on the International Women's Day celebrations. The Fijian community on island have managed to raise more than $10,000 towards the Cyclone Winston Fiji appeal. Although there has been a lot of interest from locals to donate goods for relief aid, the Ministry of Social Services Development have noted that based on communication with counterparts in Fiji, they have indicated that what the country needs now is funds to assist with the rebuild. Last Friday, people were encouraged to pledge support and band together to support those affected by the cyclone. A radiothon appeal for the Fijian community has raised just over $3,000, and fundraising initiatives continue on island. Fijian community representative Rosa Varea says that they have been overwhelmed and greatly appreciative by the amount of support and the amount raised so far. Organisers for the bingo that was held on Wednesday afternoon say that more than 120 people were present at the Alofi North Hall, and by the end of the fundraiser, they had managed to get a whopping $9,960. The Fijian community have been proactive with their efforts, placing coin donation containers at most of the business outlets in town, setting up an online Kiwi bank account that people can donate online, and a fundraising dance to be held at the Top Club on Saturday. Once all funds have been tallied up, the Fijian community are looking to present a report to government with details on how much they've raised, and hopefully government will determine whether they will top that up. In the event that government may not have any funds to send via government official networks, then the Fijian community will direct the funds to the Red Cross. Government, NGOs and private sector attended a waste recycling and management workshop this week to address the ongoing problem of waste and find ways of removing them from our homes, which usually ends up littering the roadsides or illegally disposed along the roads and bush. Waste management has been an ongoing issue with the overflow of rubbish at the dump sites around the island. John Wichman, a familiar face to the island, has been involved with the island waste management and recycling for a few years now. It is essential for the island to have a proper waste management facility.
We're having this workshop and we're consulting first of all with the multifaceted stakeholders. That's everybody from household, village councils, religious organisation, ministries for the government, and other SOEs and the Chamber of Commerce to try and get an idea of what are the problems that they face, the issues that they see in putting through something like this for the community. We're trying to get as wide a scope of consultation with the community as we can. We don't come with any preconceived ideas, and from the information that we garner, we can bring the technical aspects underneath that to support what they want. Nothing's decided already, but we're working with the stakeholders. This afternoon we will talk more closely with people who are actually involved in the collection of waste. If we identify a site, what are the utilities that are required there and how they will impact on telephone, water, power, so that we can give them a good heads up as to what our requirement will be. And this is all to be incorporated in the design.
Participants at the workshop are now more familiar with the issues in Niue and requested if there would be incentives for locals to embrace the project in moving forward. However, Mr. Wichman is adamant Niue will benefit from the workshop and would help elevate the island's environmental difficulties in keeping Niue clean.
We're listening to our village councils and that, and to see what is the best way to get the outreach back to people, to confront the issues they have. If you want change, well, there's going to be some interventions, and people might even say disruptions, because at the moment you get a really cheap rubbish service, and yet people are still disposing of rubbish by the roadside. So we've got to understand why, when you get your rubbish picked up for such a small amount, you're still discarding it. We can quantify that further once we've done the numbers this week.
The all-day workshop generated a good response from the participants in hearing what is best for Niue's waste recycling and management strategies in order to keep Niue a clean and green environment. Niue's agriculture sector is about to embark on a 2-year project that will focus on diversifying the fruit and nut trees on the island. The lack of fruit varieties in Niue and seasonal availability has been one of the main reasons behind this national project that will be rolled out with funds from the Food and Agriculture Organization. An inception workshop was held today at the Niue Golf and Sports Club as an introduction to give an overview of the project, objectives and plans for the next 2 years. Personnel from the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries were on hand, with some specialists sharing their expertise and experiences. We spoke to Brian Paxton, who has a fruit orchard in the Cook Islands that has similar climate as Niue, to find out what types of fruit trees they're looking to introduce.
Well, the main fruits will be a selection of new mango varieties, avocado varieties, again varieties that will extend the cropping season to about 7 to 8 months a year. And then we go into lychee, longan, a new variety of passion fruit. There'll be a variety of minor tropical fruits like the sapodilla, the jackfruit. Abiu is a wonderful fruit native to the Amazon, which will grow well here. And then of course the new variety of pineapple, which people can grow commercially here. So there's probably about 15 to 20 different fruits we'll introduce, but obviously, your mango's one of the main fruits. Pineapple, of course, is big, but mango and avocado, I might say, is probably two of the main ones. The selection process has already been done, especially since I'm doing the project in Rarotonga, where the climate's almost identical. I mean, the soils are different here and there's less of them, so it's just a matter of adjusting your farm management for the situation, the location. But as far as a selection process, obviously our trial plot out at the research station will be a good indicator, but with the experience I have in growing all these new fruits and that, there's not really going to be any selection process apart from the individual growers here, whether they be small growers or a commercial grower, as to what they might want to grow.
The trial plot will be set up at the Waipapahi farm that is also undergoing a major facelift over the next few months. It will provide an ideal setting for the propagation of these new fruit and nut trees, species that will be introduced with some potential benefits for locals.
Well, we're going to bring in some extra plant material, some of the main varieties, just to do trial plots on the more, you might say, commercial growers. While again, we don't want to leave anybody out, even if you just want 1 or 2 trees in your backyard. Eventually, they will be available. But initially, on that, the important thing is to again get the commercial varieties here, branch out to some of the commercial growers, because this is where we're able to test those growers, see if they're really serious about their management as to what we advise, and then later on, because again, the focus here is to develop a small industry, but also heavily on sustainability, for home gardeners, for people to eat in their own households and villages.
Next week there will be practical sessions and workshops for interested farmers to be part of that will be held at Waipapahi Farm. The Niue Island Organic Farmers Association is now running a selfie competition in a drive to encourage more young people to embrace the concept of organic farming and healthy living. Neofa is a local NGO that promotes organic farming as an alternative farming method that is beneficial for the environment and health. The Selfie concept is a creative means to generate membership from the younger generations on the island. Taking selfies is popular, especially with youth on social media, and this is a new initiative designed by Neofa to integrate modern technology more suited to 5 to 20-year-olds.
We've decided as one of the activities for the project to hold a selfie competition, and so what we're asking is that youth aged 5 years old to 20 take a selfie with organic as the subject matter. And when we say organic, we're including everything from the land to the sea, from farm to fork, eating. The only thing we do not allow is for the anything to be included that uses paraquats or weed killer or synthetic fertilizers. We're asking for as natural as possible. So this could be coconuts, it could be fish, it can be many things. Like, we're asking for the kids to just use their imagination for this project. So this is the first time the office held a competition like this. So part of the reason we've asked for the selfie competition as well is like I said, to encourage youth to get back into organic farming, and we want to put organic agriculture up there as well, because we know everybody farms, but we want youth to start thinking about farming organically, because it's all about looking after the environment. It's about addressing climate change. It's about making sure that the soil is still in good condition in 20 and 30 and 40 years' time.
This competition has strict criteria and is divided into 3 categories or age groups: 5 to 10-year-olds, 10 to 15-year-olds, and 15 to 20-year-olds. Organic growing, eating, and living are all important components to life's most important aspects, health and vitality. The overall winner will be chosen by the people on Neofa's Facebook page. Women on the island joined in the International Women's Day celebrations with a garden showcase competition that was held last Friday. The program was a joint effort between the Niue Council of Women and the 2 female members of the Niue Assembly. More than 20 women turned up to Makini Hall to participate in the activity as they visited about 10 different gardens. There were 4 categories set out: the best garden, most colourful garden, biggest garden, and the garden with the most variety of flowers. International Women's Day is marked on the 8th of March each year, and the theme for this year is Pledging for Parity, that focuses on progress towards gender parity and recognition of women's contributions and achievements in social, economic, cultural and political spheres. We spoke to one of the women MPs about her views on gender parity or gender equality.
Gender equality in Niue is not really a problem at the moment, because us women are not really that threatened by our men folk where we work or at anywhere in gatherings or in places. But in other countries, yes, it's a problem. But for Niue, it's not a very big problem. The government is doing its best to promote gender equality. But it's up to us, it's up to the women and our people to promote it. But to me, it's not really a big problem in Niue, because most of our women have good jobs in the government, very high jobs. Some are directors in the ministries. And I think we are well off. But the government is trying its best to make sure that the women are aware of this, and the men as well.
In some countries in the Pacific, there has been an evident push for more women in Parliament who bring a different perspective and influence. Niue's 20-member Legislative Assembly has 2 female members.
We have had a lot of meetings, and then the government, the Community Affairs came up with a policy for gender equality, but it's not really, I don't know whether it has been launched, but it's not really distributed out to groups so that they are aware of what is happening in the world, so that we can do likewise to make sure that our other young ones, especially the men folks, the young people, boys and girls, are aware of this gender equality. We have a policy, but I don't know whether it is being used by the youth of today or not. It's there. But we haven't got a law, really, one that is for gender equality for women.
In next year's elections, the hope is to have more female candidates running for a seat in Parliament and to increase the number of female politicians. And that is our news bulletin for this evening. We do hope that you have an enjoyable weekend ahead.